And welcome to the train side of Poe Heading a Trail. I'm just Cathryn, and this is a space where I'll be sharing my thoughts that you didn't ask for. Be mindful of that, because it's also a space where I'll be sharing my cognitive biases by questions you've asked me. No, I have not seen them. I do it unedited and in around about 60 seconds. I never do it under. It's always going to be slightly over. This is the thought of the day. It's been with me for over 30 years. When I first started university at the University of Auckland, and there was a professor of English literature. She had just finished her PhD. I remember her name vividly because it's been glued to my wairua, because I remember what she said, and it was almost verbatim that intellect and intelligence is only given to the privileged, those who read and write, those who experience the world, and those who get an education. And I remember asking this pātai, and she said yes, and I said, my dad is illiterate. What does that mean? She says, oh, unfortunately, he will never have the privilege of understanding the world in a much more articulate and knowledgeable way because he lacks the ability to read and write. And it's not that I ever believed that. I just thought for 30 odd years how tragic it was for my dad, because he would never understand the world. And then over the last 5 years, actually more than that, I started to grow my own understanding of the world, and I realized that she came from a space of privilege. She came from a space of her own lack of knowledge and intellect and intelligence, because now I know that intellect is about gaining knowledge and wisdom. Intelligence is knowing when to shush your mouth and knowing that you sit in a privileged position, because my dad, for whatever reason, his parents didn't give him the privilege of being literate. He was able to own homes, keep a marriage for 50-something years, keep his family fed, have conversations, although they were minute and they weren't the most broadest, because he didn't understand the language well enough or couldn't read and write. You could still hold a conversation, and he still kept his family unit together. So to that lecturer, shush, shush. Intelligence looks like shushing. Even more so when you are privileged enough to get an education. Anywho, question of the day before I run out of my 60 seconds. Are biases influenced by overthinking? Yes, because I think so, because we put so much emphasis on what we think or what other people think, or where those memories came from, where those thoughts came from, social norms, social expectations. So yes, of course, biases can be overthought. Anywho, that's the thought of my day. That's the cognitive biases of my day. If you like it, subscribe if you want to hear more. Other than that, have an amazing day. Leave a comment from